What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another story time. I'm Dede. You know what I'm saying? We do life advice, we do reactions, we do story times, obviously. And this is a big one, y'all. Like, this is a huge one. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I had to like get the courage to make this because this is a very like sensitive story to me. I realized, look, I'm on my purpose and I need to get this story out so a lot of y'all can learn from my mistakes. And not just that, but any empathy or sympathy I can give to anybody who's gone through this, that's a win-win. You know what I'm saying? So nonetheless, let's get to it. Like and subscribe, all that stuff. I appreciate everybody for watching. And by the way, shout out to the reception from the last video. I gotten a lot of likes on that one, a lot of views on that one. So we're gonna keep the momentum going. I know it's been a minute, but I got y'all. Y'all came through with the 5 likes. So I got y'all with this story. For sure. Let's get to it. Yes, sir. All right. So the reason this is titled 17, which by the way, let me click that real quick. The reason why this is titled 17 is because, well, obviously I was 17 going through this, and during that time, that's when X released the album 17, and a lot of stuff in that album, like, really has to do with a lot of stuff in this, and that's for one reason I love that album, because that album basically predicted, like, it didn't predict, but that album basically, it ended up being what I went through later on, being 17. This was like, we'll just get into it, you know what I'm saying? For sure. So the context of it is that this is my senior year in high school, and I was dating somebody who was a grade above me, so it was their freshman year in college. And yeah, we were dating for like at least a year and a half at this point. So this was going from being in the same high school together 24/7 to having to be long distance. I mean, the schools were about an hour and a half away from each other, but being a senior in high school and no job, and with a car that was like breaking down every single second, well, not every single second, but breaking down enough for it to be inconvenient, it was rough. You know what I'm saying? So this is my senior year in high school, 2017 to 2018. And yeah, like I said, let's get into it for sure. So I skipped some of the slides because the color was messing with the green screen a little bit, but basically, to sum it up, basically after them graduating in 2017, that upcoming summer, the summer before my senior year, things were getting real tense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was getting like real nervous about how this would handle, how this would go, stuff like that. But I was able to somehow keep myself calm throughout it all. And then once my senior year actually started, it's kind of sad thinking back, because since I was so worried about the relationship, I didn't really get to enjoy my senior year at all. Like, I can easily say, because of this, it's my worst high school year ever. And I get sad about that a lot, because senior year of high school is supposed to be like the best year. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's your last year of high school. Everybody around me's happy, like, oh, this is our last first day, all over Instagram, and I'm just sitting here like, I'm worried about this relationship. You know what I'm saying? It was a rough time, bro, for sure. And long distance becoming distant, now we're on this part. you know I think the biggest part was that I wasn't ready for a lot of the stuff. It's not like it wasn't, it took two to mess this whole thing up. You know what I'm saying? And on my end, I didn't understand a lot of stuff with college. I grew up with my dad used to be an alcoholic. My mom was a smoker. You know what I'm saying? So those kind of things, and partying in general, just like didn't really mess well with me, because that trauma I haven't like addressed. And I put a lot of that on, I put a lot of that on the person I was dating at the time, during this time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I put a lot of those expectations on her, like, oh, I don't want you drinking, I don't want you smoking. Whenever she did, like, it hurt me, because I didn't confront that trauma within myself. I didn't take the time to understand how that stuff works. Instead, I'm just sitting there like, oh, why are you partying? Why are you going out? You know what I'm saying? Why are you doing this? Why are you dressing a certain way? Just stuff that college freshmen, especially females, fall into. you know and because that created it definitely created tension. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that was the reason maybe she felt like she had to like sneak around me and stuff like that. Not sneak around me necessarily, but like there'd be times where she'll say I'm going out, and her phone somehow die. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be genuine, it could not, I don't know, but all I know is there was definitely stuff I could have done better. And yeah, we're gonna get into it later on, how that plays a role into it, because like I said, that definitely creates tension. And with tension, if it's not resolved ASAP, it builds and it builds, and then it peaks. And yeah, unfortunately, we're gonna get into that. Things I didn't notice at the time, probably simple things like, this person would tell me that guys would start hitting on them and stuff, and I would just, pass it off like, okay, whatever. I think a big thing with my ex at that time was like, didn't grow up with a lot of male attention. So I think when she got to college, things just changed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that ain't just her. That's a lot of females who go to college. You grow up not thinking you're that attractive, then you get all this validation and you realize you have options. It's intoxicating. You know what I'm saying? It's very intoxicating for sure. So things that was something I didn't really notice because I just kind of shrugged it off. There was also a guy in her dorm who kept trying to hit on her, and one time she told me that, you know, basically rubbed on her thighs and she didn't do anything about it. And yeah, that I'm surprised I really let that one slide because the person I am now, I would have been like, excuse my language, but like, what the hell is you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now, like, you feel me? Um, you know, just there were signs, bro, for sure. And I want people to understand there's a difference between deluding yourself and trusting somebody in your relationship. It is not insecure at all to be suspicious, you know what I'm saying, or to question your partner's behavior. It is not, listen, do not let these, not just women, but don't let any partner or anybody tell you that's insecure. You feel me? If you don't want your partner dressing a certain way when they're going out because you know what kind of attention it's going to bring and stuff like that, let it be known. And yes, you might have to make that compromise, but be willing to leave the relationship if it's too much for you, because that was my issue. You know what I'm saying? That's the biggest thing I didn't notice at the time. you know I didn't have the level of self-care and self-love that I have now, where I realize, hey, I'm attractive, I'm building myself up, I will always have options, always. Back then, and this is my first girlfriend, so it's like, oh, this is the only thing I'm gonna have left. You know what I'm saying? This is the only one I'm gonna get. You know what I'm saying? Because prior years I wasn't really successful with girls. You feel me? So it was real easy to stay clingy and hanging on, even when I was being treated a certain way. Even when I wasn't okay with certain things, I never spoke up about it because it's just I didn't have that respect for myself. You know what I'm saying? And that's a big thing. You gotta understand, if you don't have no respect for yourself, they not gonna respect you. And that's the biggest thing I want people to take out of this. So that was the biggest thing I didn't notice at the time, for sure. We already talked a little about signs earlier, but like a signs was, it was a dude who was nearby. I think he was like 2 doors on the next door. It was basically a dorm hall. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how dorms are. There was like a dude who was like 2 doors or 1 door down. And yeah, he kept hitting on her, and she kept telling me about it, and she kept hanging out with him, stuff like that, having conversations with him. And it's just like, if you respected me, you would distance yourself from that. But obviously, it was obvious she liked that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? She liked that attention, that validation, stuff like that. So she kept it going, and I didn't really do anything about it. But the biggest kicker of it all was that I lost my virginity to this person, and when that happened, I let her know that, like, once that happened, like, you're stuck with me. You feel me? Like, this is a commitment. I never viewed sex as something that's like, oh, I just want to, get my nut off and stuff. No, I viewed it as like a commitment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've always understood why God said, get married before you do this, because that level of intimacy and commitment, it's on a whole different level. And unfortunately, we wasn't on the same page with that. We just wasn't. Later on, she basically asked me that she wanted to have sex with other guys, and of course I just sat there like in shock, like, because I just never thought our relationship would have turned into something like that. You know what I'm saying? I never thought I'd be asked something like that in my life. I'm sure a lot of us go through thinking in life that we're never gonna get cheated on or anything like that, but at least with me, and when that hit me, when like stuff hit the fan, like, I just sat there in shock. Like, I didn't really say anything. Like, I was really like frail and like scared. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was very weak. You know what I'm saying? And when I say weak, I'm not saying it like in a negative connotation. It's just I didn't have that self-love. So like, I didn't have that firepower to be like, oh yeah, because look, if that would have happened nowadays, I would have been ended. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, okay, go ahead, have fun, but just know, you're not gonna be in this relationship no more. I would have stood my ground on it. Like, if something happens, it's over. You feel me? So yeah, I sat there, and of course I cried that night and stuff, but in terms of like actually saying or doing something about it, it was just like, I was just so shook I couldn't even react properly, to tell y'all the truth. Also, another sign is that I would say the friends she had at the time were definitely bad company. They were definitely influencing her. This was a person who was, or I ain't gonna say who is because I haven't spoken to them in months, but in my experience, this is a person who was very socially dependent. So whoever she hung around with, she will most likely pick up, attributes and behaviors like them. And obviously it's a bunch of freshman girls, so everybody hoeing out, you know what I'm saying? So I'm assuming she saw that and was starting to like, oh, like I want to try that out, you know what I'm saying? So that was another sign as well. It's like the friends she started hanging around with, it made a lot of sense. All the dudes in the friend group were trying to smash the girls, obviously, you feel me? So it was just signs like that, you know what I'm saying? And that some of those dudes in that friend group try to smash her. She told me she declined. I don't know if that's the truth or not, but no, I believe it. I believe it's the truth. But basically, stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? And I just kept shrugging it off because I'm like, oh, I trust her. I'm not insecure. I'm not insecure. I was so focused on not being insecure rather than just observing my situation, you know what I'm saying? Doing what's best for me, you know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we're going to get into it, man. I got a phone call and the person started crying. And I was like, what's wrong? And this is really hard. This is a hard story for me to tell y'all, man. This is a very deep, like, serious tone. This probably be the most serious story on this channel, but I wanted to give part 2 to this because I'm going to explain what I explained in the last video when we're done. So I got a phone call and she was like, we was having a normal conversation and she started crying. She was like, just break up with me. And it's funny because in my heart, I knew what it was. Man, you really gotta trust your gut with these situations, guys and gals. Like, y'all really have to trust your gut, because in my heart, I knew what happened. You know what I'm saying? That guy who's a couple, dorm blocks away, you feel me, hollering at her constantly, all that stuff. Bro, I knew in my heart. But anyway, so I'm playing dumb. I'm like, no, I don't know what happened. Like, what's wrong? Like, what happened? Why are you saying that? Like, I'm not breaking up with you. And she was like, I did something. And I just kept playing dumb every time, which at the end of the day, I'm kind of happy I did do that, because if you're gonna do something disgusting like this, I'm gonna make you, like, you need to say it, you feel me? Like, and that's just what it was. So we kept breaking it down. She was like, I smashed this person, she was like, I did something. And I was like, did you smash this person? No. Did you smash this person? You smashed this person? And she was like, yes. She was like, I smashed this person. And yes, I mean, she felt bad. She started crying about it. So because of that, I did decide to stay, you feel me? Because it felt like this was a real mistake. She told me that she stopped in the middle of it, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. I'm sitting here like, okay, cool. Like, we can work this through. Like, you're my first love. I just gave my virginity to you. Like, I gave myself to you fully, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing the best I can to come over there every weekend I can, you feel me? Despite not having a job, despite the car breaking down. Like, there was a time when my car broke down, y'all. I took the bus there, like, different. I'm telling y'all, built different, bro. And like, I'm so mad I didn't catch like the value of that at the time, man, because I'm telling y'all, I was built different out here, man. But yeah, she told me that. I was like, look, I mean, of course I cried and stuff, like, how dare you, like, how could you do that? But and it's sad because I had a conversation with my brother before, and he told me that him and his shorty agreed in the beginning, like, if cheating happens, then relationship is over. And I remember just having that in the back of my head while having that conversation, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, it was rough, bro, because I was just sitting there like, I forgive you. And I just remember saying that in like the back of my head, like my brother and his girl told me, like, if that happens, you have to leave. But I was stuck, man, you know what I'm saying? For sure. So let's get to it. The aftermath was very, very rough. In the first couple of days, of course, she felt horrible, felt sorry, all that kind of stuff. So that made me feel a little bit better, because I'm not gonna, because dog, I felt horrible, you know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, this was like, our school season starts in September. This happened like November, or I was told late November. So it was a horrible time, bro, you know what I'm saying? This happened before Thanksgiving. So yeah, the aftermath of it is simple. I felt horrible. I felt so conscious, you know what I'm saying? Because there were certain details that I asked for, the full details of it, because I thought that would make me feel like the bigger person or higher. If I knew everything, then I would be bigger than it. You know what I'm saying? It couldn't hurt me. So, but obviously, had the opposite effects. I became self-conscious over the tiniest things, all sorts of stuff like that. I don't really want to get into specifics of what I started getting insecure about, because I'm not trying to be too specific with this story. I'm not trying to tell too much, but yeah, there were certain things said in that story that, yeah, definitely had me messed up in the head. I was 17, so I was just sitting there and I was just like, how could this happen to me? Like, I'm putting an arm and a leg into this relationship. Like, it just hurt because it was like this. Yes, we were an hour and a half away, but like I was really working my best to, make sure to come there as many times as I could. You feel me? And like I said, I know like the anti-partying stuff really put a toll on our relationship, but it's just, I just cared about her. You feel me? And at the end of the day, that is something that I did later on apologize to her as our relationship continued on, about like, I'm sorry for shaming you for doing that stuff. You were just trying to discover yourself and figure out what you like, what you don't like. You know what I'm saying? Regarding the partying and stuff, not cheating. But so at the aftermath of what it was, seeming like you're good, smiling, but you're always hurting in the inside. And like going back to the school after the incident, all her friends knew about it, you know what I'm saying? So you're just talking to them and they know, and then it felt horrible, you know what I'm saying? Like I felt like a loser, man, you know what I'm saying? Like it was horrible. Like I don't wish that on nobody. Like, and I could even if you're watching this video, like I don't even wish it on you. Like I don't wish that pain on nobody. Like that's how horrible cheating is to me. Like I don't even wish it on the people who did the cheating. Like it's just it really messes up your head. I'm still, thanks to going to therapy like almost a year ago now. Yeah, almost a year ago now, it's helped out a lot, and I'm sorry if I'm speaking a little slow, y'all. I'm just really taking it in. Like it was because it was so much of it that I was blocking out. I just kept pushing all that pain to the back of my head. You feel me? Like anytime I felt sad about something, I was just like, oh, we're good, I'm okay. Because what happened was every time I would bring it up, or I need like her to console me with it, we didn't really work through it. You feel me? It was just kind of like, cried one good time, you felt horrible for a period, and then it just supposedly went away. You know what I'm saying? To be fair, I did tell her a lot of times that like, yeah, I'm over it. That was where I messed up at. But ultimately, nah, I was always hurting over that. Even at the greatest times in our relationship, like it just will always come back. Like, oh yeah, I'm just so happy in this relationship, blah blah. But you were cheated on, and then like with that, happiness was just gone. You know what I'm saying? Just shot back down. You feel me? And obviously, every time I try to bring it back up, really talk to her about it, work through it, you're basically just starting to end the relationship. Like, oh well, if you're not over that, you need to get over the relationship. And at the time, I felt like she was right, because I did say I was over it, and I did say I wanted to work this out. But I feel like ultimately that was wrong. I feel like that was ultimately her not really taking accountability for what she did. There were even times where she was like, I'm glad that happened, because we wouldn't be where we're at right now without that. And while I get what she was saying, ultimately, like, no, I'm not happy that happened. Like, no, it shouldn't take you to do all that to finally realize, oh, that's messed up. You feel me? That's where I like disconnect with her on. It was just a lack of accountability for me. I would say the biggest thing to learn is know your self-worth, man. Pay attention to what you give people, because that's what I didn't do. I was a senior in high school with no job. Somehow coming up with the money for these parking decals. They cost about $7 a day, so a weekend $14. No job, you know what I'm saying? And gas money. I was finding a way to go to that school all the time, and at the end of the day, all shorty had to do was just sit there and be loyal. You feel me? Sit there and hold me down. You feel me? Like, it would just held me down. It would have been all good. Hold it down. You know what I'm saying? So that's the biggest thing, is like, understand what you offer people, and understand how much energy and time that costs, because that costs a lot of time and energy, and in that case, money as well. You know what I'm saying? I made sure to do the best I could do to get over there. I figured all that stuff out on my own. It wasn't even like she gave me pointers on it, like the temporary parking decals. You didn't tell me about that. I figured that out on my own. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, no matter what, I was always committed to the best of my ability. Yes, we had a little disagreement on partying and stuff, but over time I would learn to compromise with it. Over time yes, I didn't like it, but I would let her do what she do. You feel me? Because she was just like, trust me, and that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, even though I didn't agree with that, even though a lot of that hurt me, I was compromising. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it hurt a lot. And I mean, yeah, she kept this person at a distance. She cut this person off. apparently. But we're gonna get into that later for sure. You know what I'm saying? If y'all, that'll probably be on the next part of this. So if y'all want another part, y'all know how it go. 5 likes, I got y'all. You feel me? We'll go more into this relationship because I feel like, no, I don't feel like a lot of people can learn from this past relationship for sure. You know what I'm saying? Without a doubt. And I just remember like her parents not knowing the whole time. Like every time we saw her parents, I'm just like, wow. Because her parents, they were married. They got it out the mud. They really made sure and worked hard that she didn't have to like suffer while she was in school, going through all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? And just to see the kind of person she turned out to be and the kind of things she was doing, I was just sitting there like, wow, like, this is disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Like, you told me like your parents being disappointed in you was like the number one thing that like you feared, and like look what you're doing. Look what you've done. And I'm just like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was some real trifling stuff, man. And this part, let's say, this part right here, that part right there, that's very important because I need y'all to understand that everything happens for a reason. As a man of God and a believer in God, I just have to, my faith, I have to understand that good or bad, everything happens for a reason. I don't wish this on nobody, but everything truly happens for a reason, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like this, despite all the stuff I was going through, it made me a better person, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's what everybody needs to take out of it. You can't let these bad events shape you forever, and that's just what it was, and that's why, I had a lot of people, telling me like, oh, why didn't you like tell her parents and what happened? It was just like, cuz I feel like it'll come out when it needs to, something like that. Everything done in the dark will be brought to the light, you know what I'm saying? So everything happens for a reason, and it's just, that's what it was. And I felt like at the end of the day, I needed to go through that because there was stuff later on. This is basically the start of something. And then, like I said, if y'all want an extra part throughout the relationship to the end of it, like I said, 5 likes, I got y'all. But this was the first like big thing that needed to happen in order for my self-development for sure. And yeah, with that, I'm about to say we done basically. But yeah, my final stay on it is that, and I cut out a lot of details, by the way, because I didn't want it to be too in depth. At the end of the day, this is a real person, so I don't want them to be like, I guess I don't want the reputation to be too messed up, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, basically, yeah, for anybody that's gone through cheating, man, just leave, bro. Like, if I could truly go back, I would have left right there. It would have saved me so much time, so much pain and suffering. I never really got to attend to my wounds and like suffering because like until like 6 months ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be for real with y'all, like, this happened in 2017. That means I was hurting for like 5 years. Cause like I said, every time it was brought up or something, it's just like, oh, if you don't want to talk about, if you gonna talk about it, you're not over it. We got in this relationship. And while that sounds technically correct, let's be honest, on a moral level, like, that's not ethical at all, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, for something that you did and you're gonna tell me that, oh, if I can't get over that, then we need to end this relationship. And it was just a lot of stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? But the next part gonna be about when we broke up the first time and how we got back together. But I'm obviously talk about the stuff that I learned after we got back together, you feel me? The stuff that I learned that she done after, during our breakup, you feel me? And I'll give context to that right now as a little cliffhanger. Basically later on that year, it was like, what, it happened November of 2017, so we're in April of 2018. And yeah, she was like, I just need to focus on myself. The stuff these freshman girls be saying. I need to focus on myself. I'm not trying to mess around or anything. I just need to be on my own. And obviously I didn't want to break up with her, but because I loved her, I was like, okay, cool. Like, that's what you truly need. That's fine. And even then, she said she don't remember. She said it never happened, but I could have sworn we agreed on getting back together that summer. I was like, okay, cool. Obviously thinking in my mindset now, that was just a whole setup. But y'all want to get into that, man, hey, 5 likes, all that good stuff. Like I told y'all, this was a really hard video for me to make. And like I said, I cut out a lot of details out. Just know, you've been cheated on, bro, just leave. Like, do not try to work it. I don't care how sorry they are, because guess what? No matter how sorry they are, bro, they were never sorry doing it, initiating it, none of that. And it really hurts when women do it, at least in my, because I can only speak from a man's perspective, because at the end of the day, women have way more accessibility to sex than men do. You know, men have to like finagle and get sex out of women, where women, they're the gatekeepers, so they can just choose whoever they want to have sex with. So that's what makes it hurt even more. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no matter what, you didn't feel bad initiating it, you didn't feel bad in the act of doing it. It just don't matter. And you know, at the end of the day, sometimes you felt dirty about it. You deserve that. You feel me? Like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I pray that you find true love and happiness and are able to repent. You just can't repent with me no more. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is, you know? So y'all have a good one, man. Like I said, this Dede. That was a really, really rough video to make, but it's all good. We here now. We better. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I said, we'll get to part 3 for sure. Just, you know, I need them likes, baby. Yeah, nonetheless, take care of yourselves out here. Know your self-worth. Understand what you offer. Understand what you need in a relationship as well. And yeah, you know, don't compromise for that. And be realistic. Don't be one of them people like, I need a 6-figure man. No. You're the problem if you're one of those. You're the problem. But yeah, nonetheless, on my block, and I spin it.